Hi everyone, uh, this is the engine out of my CB450 K5 1972. I've got it on my trolley. Now the engine weighs a lot. I haven't actually researched to find out how much it does weigh, but my trolley is rated for 200 kgs, so it handles it nicely. And if you are going to use a trolley, this one's got a steel platform. I recommend you get a steel platform. Some of them are only plastic, some of the cheaper ones. And I want this to be pretty robust on here because I'm going to be using this as my work platform as I dismantle the engine. Once I get the engine down to pieces, then I'll put those on my workbench and to actually work with them. I'm going to be buffing it all up and getting it all nice and all the alloy nice and shiny again. But my main task at the moment is to investigate the condition of the engine. I want to see what condition all of the internals are in, what parts are worn, what parts can be repaired or replaced, or what parts are okay to continue using. And I'm pretty sure the engine hasn't been apart before. It just looks like everything is first time. I can't see any rounding on any of the through bolts. This system here has got studs that go all the way down to the crankcase. So you have to take the engine out of the frame. You can't take it out like an XR250 where it's bolted together in steps. This here, the whole lot slides down on top of these long studs. So internally she's looking nice so far. Lobes look good. I've had a close look at those. On the intake cam, on the exhaust cam, nothing here untoward. So about the sunshine, it's nice working in the sunshine though. And this is the lifting mechanism, which is just so cool. So it uses a fork with a torsion rod that pulls the valve closed, and the cam operating on the lockers here pushes down against that torsion and opens the valve. There's only a 2-valve engine. I guess this could be quite tricky to do with a 4-valve arrangement. It'll require quite a lot of engineering, so maybe that's why they left it as a 2-valve at this stage. Anyway, it's a pretty interesting design, and I'm interested in it as well, and we'll be really looking at that part very closely. I've looked at quite a lot of detail in my workshop manuals on how it operates, and it's pretty neat actually, pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of cleaning up to do yet on the engine, but now I can move it around and work at it nice and easily. And I've stored the frame and all the other parts, so now I've got my garage back, so I can get my car back into the garage, so that'll be nice, and just work away with this as I need to. This is going to be fairly long term. We're looking here at nearly April. I'm not expecting to have this engine ready to button back up again until at least the middle of the year, maybe July or so. So I'm just going to take my time on it. Any parts that need to be sent out, I'll do that. Any parts I need to research to buy online, I'll be doing that. So if there's anybody that is working on one of these engines and you want any real detail views, just send me a comment. I'm quite happy to do that. This arrangement here is quite interesting. The back roller, they call this one here the pizza cutter, that goes in first, and there's a little shoulder on the little what we call it. It's like a little sleeve. It's got a shoulder on both ends, and that slips onto the shoulder. A little bit tricky to get in place with the spring. And in this one here is the neutral position arm, and that fits on this rotating disc here as you rotate the selector drum. I've got the selector shaft out at the moment, Interesting looking at the spring here, same as what they've had on the old XRs. You might remember on one of my XL 250s, I let go of that stupid spring and I had to take the engine, went in from the bottom to reposition this spring, and so I could you know, get the gear selector to return again. So that's all good. Kickstart, everything here is all nice. Nice design actually. You know, keeping in mind that this is sort of like 66, 67, this was on the track, this style of this design engine. So I guess they were designing it around about 64, 65, I suppose, the engineers. So at the time, she's a heck of an engine. Now some people have told me that Ducati were the engineers of this arrangement of the valves, and that Honda's sort of taken that idea. I'll do a bit more research on that. Quite often the way of the Japanese, isn't it? They see an idea and then they tend to, you know, work on it themselves, maybe improve on it, or certainly, you know, if it's a good idea, they tend to go with it. Of course, these days they're not doing this. They've got the multi-valves and the, you know, the twin or quad cam engines and fuel injection and all the rest of it. But back in the day, you know, this was the sort of style, and I'm more interested in the older engines and the older bikes than the up-to-date ones. So yeah, I'll take some close-up videos as I dismantle the engine more and get down into the bore. I've had a look with my bore scope and I'm not expecting too many surprises, but you know, it'll be what it'll be, and I'll just deal with that when I get to it. So I think the trolley idea is a good way of being able to manage the engine if you're sort of a home mechanic like me, where you need you know, a bit of space and you want to roll things around. I don't have an actual separate workshop for motorbikes. This is just my car shed, and I'm actually an electrician by trade, but I do enjoy working on engines for motorbikes, especially the 4-stroke Hondas. I remember as a kid, you know, some of the guys I used to know were hanging out on these CB350 twins, the 71, 72s. I don't remember seeing any of these 450s on the road here in New Zealand, so they can't have been in large numbers, because I imagine they were quite a bit more expensive. But anyway, from what I read, this sort of was the beginning of the end for a lot of the British bikes of the time, and this also led to the development of the CB750, which really was the end of the old English bikes. Thank you for viewing.